What's going on, guys? MartNezz here with a little bit of a let's play on Farming Simulator 2017. I've been watching so much stuff and reading so much stuff on Farming Simulator 19 that is coming out November 20th that I just had to get my itch filled up here quick. I've recently kind of gotten back into it again anyways, like a couple weeks ago. I haven't really played, but yeah, I kind of thought I'd throw together a quick video here just to talk a little bit about what I've done here and what I'm looking forward to seeing on 2019. I know it's a little bit strange, so I'm kind of jumping right in the middle of a farm here because this is my established one that I've been working on since the game came out. Unfortunately, I don't have too many people that I play with online, so all the work's been done all by my own two hands here, with some mods that helped out quite a bit as well. I'm loving the fact that 17 did that. So, to give you kind of a backstory on how I've done all this, is I basically started out just doing nothing but crops, the main crops of the game, I guess you would say, and then as I felt that I had the money and the resources available to me, I kind of worked my way into doing some pig stuff, and slowly kind of went from there, you know, got into cows. I started dabbling in sheep a little bit, and then I went ahead and now I'm slowly working my way into logging, but I'm basically to the point in the game where my goal before November 20th is to get all my trophies unlocked on this game, and I got like 3 more to go. So I guess that's basically what my goal is with this series that I'm starting. You know, again, I know it's kind of weird. Normally people start off a series and they're like, hey guys, welcome to my brand new farm. But I think if this all goes well with me and everything, you know, I get some views, I get some likes, and get some subscribers, I might just start a 2019 Season 1 of Farming Simulator 19, starting from scratch. You know, I'd love to hear what your guys is most excited for on this new game, and I guess for me, there's just so much to list. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing the new graphics. I love the fact that they're introducing John Deere this year. I also look forward to seeing what they're going to be doing with some of the other stuff that we haven't really seen yet. And what I mean by that is, you know, they usually always, you know, miss some things that have changed, some fine details when 17 came out. And what I'm really looking forward to seeing is how I'm going to start my farm. I've already kind of thought about it, and I think I'm going to probably jump into, you know, if you haven't known already, I guess, basically it sounds like you have a couple different options to start out on the game. You'll start out either like you typically do, with a farm, some tractors, and a couple fields already bought. Well, on the new one, they're making it sound like basically that you're going to start off either going that route, or if you want to, you can completely just basically start out with money in your pocket and an option to buy stuff. Which means that if you want to start off just doing nothing but logging stuff, do it. You know, if you want to start off by doing nothing but you know, animal husbandry stuff, do it. You know, and I'm just kind of torn on what I want to do. You know, I've done it all on this game. I really haven't made no money off of logging because I didn't do anything full square on that before, which I am kind of just now starting to get into. And basically the only reason why I'm really getting into it because I'm having a lot of fun doing the animal stuff right now. But again, I'm just trying to get all the achievements unlocked, or I should say trophies, because I am on the PlayStation 4. But you know, I guess my goal is to cut down, I think it's like 50 trees, and I'm probably like 40 away from doing that. So I actually got a field dedicated to a tree farm right now, and once I get those grown to my liking, I will probably cut them down, and I'll probably make a video on that as well. As you can see right now, I'm just getting some bales ready here for my cows. I've kind of let that dwindle all the way down where I was just pretty much down to that when it's time to make my next batch. I'm not going to have the stuff there to do it. So I went through and started baling this field that I got dedicated just for grass and hay and silage. And as you can see, I got quite a bit of it baled already and stacked. And unfortunately, since this is console, and this just drives me nuts, you know, there's a cap on how much you can have for bales. So unfortunately, I got about 4 or 5 rows there that I still got to bale, but I guess that's just there for me next time. I'm not going to bore the whole video with me just picking these up, so I think what I'm going to do at this point is shut this bad boy down here, and I guess I'll just do a quick overlay and tour of my farm of what I've done so far. Excuse me. You know, again, I kind of started getting into cattle, or I guess the first animals I started getting into was pigs after I started doing some stuff with the crops, and then I slowly worked my way into cows, just because in Farming Simulator 15 I had so much fun with the cows on there, because I was basically, I think at one point I had 200 cows, and every day, as long as I kept them 100%, I was making like 120 grand a day with milk sales. So I was like, wow, that's, you know, I was just rolling in the money there. So I haven't really seen that kind of a profit here on this one. I don't know if it's because I feel like I spent a lot more time, because now they, you know, they have the cleaning option that you have to take care of there, and I think they switched up the mechanics a little bit on it. And the pigs, I basically kind of let the pigs just kind of run wild. They're just kind of my back burner profit making there. I come through every once in a while and I might clean this stuff up just to get them back up to 100%, but basically I wait till they get to a point where I'm going to make, you know, where I can take all that they have bred and load them up on a trailer and sell them, and then I wait until, you know, I leave like, I think a dozen or 10 pigs to reproduce for the next round, and I sell them and make my money off of them that way. I really don't spend a whole lot of time on them, just make sure that they're fed is the main thing. Now, when I first started out, I was definitely I was babying them all the time. They never really, you know, I always made sure everything was clean and stuff like that. But at this point, I got too much other stuff going on. And then there's sheep. Sheep was the sleeper animal for me on this game, because in previous games I've never really messed with the sheep, just for the simple fact in 15, when you would go to produce the sheep, you would have to, you know, you only had one bell option, right? So as they produced one pallet of wool for you, that was all they could produce. And I was just getting tired of, like, every 20 minutes or an hour or whatever playing, I'd always have to go over and double check to move that one so it would produce the next pallet for me. Well, 17, they decided to finally fix that, and they added it so that way you can basically have six pallets in your surplus. So as one produces, the next one produces, and then eventually it can get full, and then you do have to remove them. But hey, you know what? Having 6 spots there is a lot better than one. And as you can see here, I've actually started stockpiling a surplus onto a semi-trailer, and for one simple reason is that I was actually, when I first started with sheep, I had a little pickup trailer sitting here, and I didn't have very many sheep, maybe like 30 or 40 or 50 sheep, and I slowly made my way over the course of having them, like a dozen pallets, and I seen the price spiked up because there was a sale on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell that because I got a dozen pallets. And I could not believe how much money I made. I made like almost 300 grand off of that. So I said to myself, well, heck, I'm going to throw a lot of money into this then. So now I'm currently up to about 250 plus, I believe, on my sheep. Yeah, 256. And they're just producing, you know, wool for me like crazy. You know, and again, it's nice because you got the 6 pallet spaces, right? So I can run around, do whatever I want, make sure they're fed and watered. And then every so often I come over here and I start putting some more on the trailer here. And I suppose at some point when I get real close to having the trailer full, I just got to make the decision, do I buy another trailer and store it here? or do I go and sell it? So, you know, that's decisions to be made by a farmer, I guess, right? But, you know, again, going back to 2019 coming out, I'm kind of in a pickle here because, you know, sheep is one of the easiest ways to make money. Now, you don't make it fast because, unfortunately, you know, when you produce one bale, it's not doing a whole lot for you unless it's on sale. But you're also not making oogle bucks like you do when you're farming with crops. You know, because when you do a harvest, you can sell a whole trailer load and make, you know, 50, 60 grand. And then you turn around and store the rest, right, until a sale comes on. And then you repeat the process. You plant, do all that stuff, harvest, sell another one, make another $60,000 or $100,000 every harvest. Well, on sheep, you can't quite do that unless you're getting kind of the more point where I'm finally at with my sheep, where I can go ahead and sell, you know, a whole semi-load here and make some real money off of it, and then be able to throw money into some other things. But so I'm kind of torn on how I want to start the new game 19 out. I'm thinking I want to start out as a sheep farmer, but I'm thinking I'm going to ultimately go into crops first again, kind of get some stuff going there, and then I'll slowly start investing into some cheaper, you know, stuff to get me started with the sheep, because I do want to go into that again, I think, because one, they're just easy, and I kind of like loading these trailers up. They're kind of fun. Again, you know, going into from 15 to 17, probably the biggest thing that I loved about that is the fact that they increased, or they added straps onto semi-trailers and flatbeds and all that stuff. If it wasn't for that, you know, that's just like, to me, that's like the #1 improvement between the, you know, it's a small one, but I don't know how many times I'd go load a pallet of something, or load bale of hay, you know, a bunch of bales of hay on a flatbed or something, and try to drive it somewhere in previous games, and next thing you know, I'm picking it up 2 or 3 times on the way, just from driving. Not even doing nothing crazy, just driving. So, you know, and when it comes to some, you know, I'm hoping as well, you know, because I do enjoy doing the animal stuff, that they do add some upgrading, because, you know, they've hinted that there's going to be a lot of upgrading going on with the house and the farm itself, which they kind of do that this year in a way of that if you want to have some storage, you know, you can increase storage, which is great, but I hope they do it in the way of maybe help you get more productive with your animals as well. And what I mean by that is kind of like what we talked about with the fact that they're allowing you to have up to, you know, 6 pallets of wool sitting there. You know, it'd be nice if they, you know, maybe you start out with 6, and then as you play the game, you can upgrade it into a dozen or something like that. And then maybe as well, you know, they can also give you a storage, you know, maybe you can just buy a whole storage warehouse as well to upgrade, and then you have somewhere to stockpile your wool. And then maybe when they do let you stockpile your wool like that, they can make it some kind of like an automated loader or something goofy like that. You know, of course they'd have to make it worth the money, right? So if they do that, you'd hope they would, you know, make you pay a pretty penny to get a nice warehouse where it's just going to stockpile pallets and pallets of wool for you. But then at least, you know, you drive in, you click a button, and it loads it all up for you. Or at least lines it up outside of the warehouse, so that way you can just sit there and start picking them up with your forklift or whatever it might be, your telehandler, to load up. Again, you know, once I made all that big bucks off of that first load here, I invested into this tractor and that payloader that's down the way there, just so I can have the tools I need here, not have to transfer them all the time. I mean, I made the money, I might as well spend it, right? But you know, that's just some of the features I'm hoping to see in the future on Farming Simulator 19. Again, you know, they haven't really gone too much, you know, other than saying that they're adding horses to the game. They haven't really gone too much into detail on what they're going to be seeing as far as any drastic changes on that, on the game itself for that stuff. But yeah, again, you know, this is just wanted to get a quick video put together here quick. Didn't want to make it anything crazy. Just figured I'd show off a little bit of and talk a little bit about what I like to see in 19. If you know, I'd love to see in the comments below your guys' comments on what you would like to see coming into the future of Farming Simulator 19, and I wouldn't even mind hearing just, you know, some of your guys' stories on what you think you would end up starting your game out as, because, you know, from the sounds of it, it's just going to have endless possibilities. You know, you can start off being just a corn farmer or a pig farmer, whatever you want to do. Options are pretty well endless for you. So, but anyways, guys, if you liked the video, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you know, I'm probably going to do a couple more of these before Farming Simulator 19 comes out, and I might even venture into some other games as well. If you guys enjoyed watching, appreciate the like, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.